Good morning and welcome to Take 5. It is Wednesday, March 9th, 2011. We've got a tremendous passage of Scripture today, and I love every morning getting up and reading this. This does so much good for my heart. We're in this long stretch of Scriptures where Jesus is just doing miracle after miracle after miracle, and we get two of them in today's passage. We're in Matthew chapter 9. Verse 10, verse 18. While he was saying these things to them, behold, a ruler came in and knelt before him, saying, My daughter has just died, but come and lay your hand on her, and she will live. And Jesus rose and followed him with his disciples. And behold, a woman who had suffered from a discharge of blood for 12 years came up behind him and touched the fringe of his garment. For she said to herself, If I only touch his garment, I will be made well. Jesus turned, and seeing her, he said, Take heart, daughter, your faith has made you well. And instantly the woman was made well. And when Jesus came to the ruler's house and saw the flute players and the crowd making a commotion, he said, Go away, for the girl is not dead but sleeping. And they laughed at him. But when the crowd had been put outside, he went in and took her by the hand, and the girl arose. And the report of this went through all that district. I'd say the report of it went through all the district. He raised a girl from the dead. Everybody knew she was dead. When you see the flute players and the commotion and all that going on, that's how they celebrated funerals. Everybody knew she was dead. He gets there and he says, She ain't dead. He probably didn't use that bad of grammar in the Hebrew or Aramaic or whatever he spoke. He didn't say ain't maybe. Maybe he did. She ain't dead, she's just sleeping. And they laughed at him because they knew she was dead. But he sends everybody out. He goes in, takes her by the hand, and raises her from the dead. Now this is right after, remember, he just healed a woman who had been bleeding for 12 years. Because on his way to heal this girl from the dead, this one comes up behind him. The synagogue ruler that approached him knelt down before him. This one comes up from behind him, and she just touches his garment. Now she had this bleeding for 12 years. That's a long time. Probably you had something going on 12 years, maybe you've given up. Some of us have had chronic illnesses for many, many years. Maybe you've given up. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now that says never give up, and with Jesus, never give up. And if it's in His will that you be healed of that after a long period of time, you'll be healed. But she thinks, if I can just touch His garment, I can be healed of this. And you know what? She was right, because she touches His garment. Jesus turns around and says, Woman, your faith has made you well. Oh, we need this kind of faith. We need faith like the synagogue ruler that believed Jesus could raise his daughter from the dead. We need faith like this woman that believes, if I can just get close to him and just touch his garment. I don't even have to touch him. Just barely get the little tassel on his garment. I can be healed. Jesus is God. We've just seen Him raise a girl from the dead, heal a woman who had been bleeding for 12 years. We've seen Him do all the other kinds of miracles in the last few days. We're going to see Him continue to do miracle after miracle after miracle. So what's your excuse? You don't think He can help you with your finances. You don't think He can find you a job. You don't think He can find you a spouse if you want one. I don't want one. But if you want one, you don't think He can. You don't think He can fix your marriage if He wants to. And if your other spouse is willing, takes two. You don't think He can help you with your kids. You don't think He can give you wisdom. You don't think He can help you through school. You don't believe Jesus can help your church. You don't believe Jesus can help your business. Jesus can do anything. He's God. Where's your faith? And that's okay. If your faith is down, you just keep reading these scriptures over and over. My faith is growing like crazy just from teaching these passages. How can it not? Jesus is awesome. He can do anything. And sometimes He chooses to do it. Sometimes He doesn't for our own good. But He loves us. And in these two cases, He chose to do it. He chose to do it. He raised a girl from the dead, and he Healed a woman who'd had a chronic illness for 12 years. And I'm going to tell you something. He's still doing stuff like that. All right? So never give up. If it's in His will. Now listen. Jesus did not heal every person with every illness at that time, and He doesn't do it now. And He didn't raise everybody from the dead. He only did that a very few times. People have to die to go to heaven, and He lets them do that sometimes. We all have to die eventually. This girl would die again. He raised her up, but believe me, she died again. We all die. He doesn't do that every time, but He does sometimes. And we need to have faith that if He wants to, He can do it. Don't doubt His power. All right, come back tomorrow. We're going to see more evidence of this mighty, mighty God we have, named Jesus, on tomorrow's Take 5.